Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. This is Angelo from Caps on Fire, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to build your own sublimation printer. Okay, so before I get started, I want you guys to go ahead and click below to subscribe to my channel, so that way you get automatic updates from when I do any more videos. Okay, so the very first thing that we need is, of course, a printer. Okay, but it can't be just any printer. Okay, I highly recommend you guys use the Epson Workforce 7710 or the Epson Workforce 7720. Okay, the only difference between the two is the 7710 only has one cartridge, and the 7710 only has one cassette, and the 7720 has two cassettes. Okay, so with this one, you can only put one size of paper in there at a time, versus the 7720 you can have two trays. So that means you can put sublimation paper on the bottom and put regular letter paper up top, or put mug sublimation paper up top, regular 13 by 19 inch at the bottom. Just however you want to mix and match it, you can do that, because you'll have two sets. Okay, so on average, these Workforce printers, as of right now, sometimes they go on sale. They can cost anywhere from $150. The highest I've seen them is $179, or they can cost you around $200, or maybe a little over $200. It just depends on the sales that are currently going on. Okay, so the Epson Workforce 7710 right here, and then down here we have our sublimation ink. Okay, you must have sublimation ink in order to do sublimation. Okay, these printers do not come with sublimation ink. They come with regular pigment ink that you use for regular standard printing. Okay, so with that being said, if you take this sublimation ink and you put it inside this printer, it will void out the warranty on your printer. Okay, but if you decide to take it back to Best Buy or Staples or wherever you got it from, I mean, that's 100% on you. That I'm not going to take no liability for that. But I'm taking you through this process, so that way you know how to do it the correct way and not mess up your printer, because nobody has money just to throw away, okay, at all. So this is what we're going to be doing. Okay, so if you need sublimation ink right here, this is my own personal line of sublimation ink, which is called Cosmos ink. Okay, just click down in the description below, and then you'll be able to find the link that will take you to my ink conversion kits. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and open this bad boy up, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. Alrighty guys, so we just opened up the box and we went ahead and took everything out. Alright, so as you guys can see, we have our printer right here, we have our power cord right here, we have the cartridges that the printer came with right here, and we have our installation disc with our instructions. Okay, so the very first thing you guys want to do is you want to take off all this tape and plastic. We want to take all of that off. Okay, don't leave no tape, no plastic, nothing on this machine. Okay, you only want just the printer and its removable components, and that's it. Anything else that was added onto it, we want to go ahead and remove that. Okay, so the very first thing I recommend removing is that plastic film. Okay, so just go ahead and take that off. The top one comes off relatively easy, but that middle one, more than likely you guys are going to need scissors for it. Okay, so just cut it. Just be careful not to scratch your screen or scratch the printer, period. So, all right, we got that off. After that, I normally start from the top and work my way down to the bottom when taking off the tape. Okay, so you're gonna have some tape up here on the top. You'll have some tape over here on this side right here. Of course, right here in the front. Have a piece of tape right here on this side. And when you pull this off, you'll get this piece. Make sure you take this off. And I didn't show you guys, but you have these yellow things right here. This will come off, so just throw these away, okay? You don't need these at all, okay? When you take them off from up here, these two yellow things will automatically slide out, okay? After that, we want to turn the printer around because there's tape on the back side, okay? In an awkward area as well. So just go ahead and pick it up, flip it around. All right, so now when you get to the back, take this one off. When you take this one off, it allows you to lift this part up, okay? So just lift this part up and you can grab this piece of tape. Sometimes people will grab it from down here, but they actually flip the tape over just a little bit to make a grabbable piece, which is actually on the inside. Okay, so pull that down, pull this piece of tape off. And then this part folds down, and I'm gonna tilt this one up a little bit so you guys can see it. There's two pieces of tape in there, okay? There's one piece of tape right here, and there's another one right here, okay? So go ahead and pull this one off and this one off, okay? We'll take that one off. Take this other piece off. Now we'll turn it back around to the front. So now that we're back to the front, we'll just continue removing all the tape. Now at this point, you're going to want to lift this part up, and this part is the scanner, okay? After you lift that part up, normally there's nothing in here. I've never seen any tape in here, but I always take a precaution as to lifting this up, because sometimes there may be like this glass right here may be cracked. It may be different defects going on, so I definitely like to check everything out, okay? So pull this up. There's nothing in there. Put your hand on the side. Right here, there's a groove, okay? And it's meant for you to put your fingers in there to pull it up to expose the printer head, okay? So put our hands in there, pull it up. Now when we pull it up, you're gonna see some tape right here on the side, okay? This tape is extremely important, okay? If you forget to pull any tape, if you can remember to pull any tape off this machine, please remember to remove this tape, okay? Because if you plug your printer in and this tape is still on here holding the printer head in its spot, you could possibly damage your printer head. You can break the belt that your printer head is connected to. You can really mess some stuff up to the point where you cannot repair it, and you'll have to take it back to the store or pay for shipping to return the item, or various other hassles that you don't really want to go through, okay? So we'll just get this tape, pull it up, pull it down a little bit, and it'll all come out. All right, so we can throw that piece away, and that'll be the only tape that's going to be inside of there. So you can just close this back down. Next up is your cassette, okay? I'm going to go ahead and take the cassette out and slide the printer back so I can show you guys what all tape is on our cassette. So when we get to our cassette, we want to take all the tape off on here as well. Okay, so there'll be tape right here and right here. Go ahead and take that off and toss that to the side. Tape right here and right here. You have to take these two off in order for you to get to the tape on the inside. Once you pull those two off, this plastic piece, it just slides right out, okay? We can sit this up here, take this piece of tape off, and this piece of tape off. And then we got some tape that's right here make sure you pull this piece off on the side. And then if we flip it over, that's it. We don't see any more tape. Okay, so now we just take our piece right here that we took off earlier, put it back right here, and it just slides right in, guys. There's these little grooves that are right here. They just slide into these little slots. Okay, so once we do that, we gotta slide our printer back up some so I can put it back in there. Okay, so slide my printer back. Slide it in. Now all we gotta do is just plug it up and go ahead and get it started. Okay, so we'll take our plug, open this up, take this piece off. You don't really need this. You guys can throw this away. It's just a, I guess, a barcode tab. Just trash that. So now we'll turn it around and show you guys where to plug it up at. Alrighty, now this is a very, very special plug. Okay, do not lose this plug. All right, I've heard of one instance where Epson, when they sent out a printer, they sent out the wrong plug attachment. In case that does happen, please just contact whoever you got it from, or contact Epson, and you'll be able to get, you know, the correct plug for this printer. Okay, this printer is a 3-prong like this. Okay, a crazy looking prong. I've never seen this type of prong a day in my life. Okay, so this is definitely, you know, a proprietary piece when dealing with the equipment. All right, so you want to plug your you want to put your plug in right here, down here in this area. Okay, so just match it up or line it up and plug it in. Okay, and then once that's plugged in, we're just going to turn our, well, now that that's plugged in, we're going to just turn our printer around and plug it into the wall and start everything up. So we're plugging it in right now. Now that we got it plugged in, just go ahead and press the power button, and boom, it comes right on. All right, so now I'm gonna just take you guys a little closer so that way you can see exactly what's on the screen and everything that I'm pressing. Alrighty, everybody, so we just finished plugging in our printer, and as soon as you plug it in, all you do is just press the power button, and as soon as you press it, you'll see the Epson logo come up. It'll make, you know, the little theme music sound or whatever, and then it'll go ahead and it'll jump to this screen. Okay, this is the setup screen. Okay, so it's going to take us through all the setup process, through the whole setup process for your printer, the initial setup. Okay, so you have multiple language options on your printer: Portuguese, Netherlands, English, French, Spanish, you know, just all these different languages. But for most of us, if you're watching this video, 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty sure you speak English. So we're just going to press the English option. Now, country, region, we're going to go ahead and select USA. They have multiple countries in here, tons of countries. But for us, USA. Okay, daylight savings time, we're still in the summer season, so we're just gonna select summer. Now we got the date format. Okay, you have year, we have year, month, day, then you have month, day, year, you have day, month, year. Okay, so whatever your preference is, you would go ahead and select it here. We're just gonna do the traditional civilian month, day, year. Okay, and today is October 19th, 2018. We'll select October 19th. And when you get to this next part, all you do is just press 1-8. Okay. We're gonna wait for just a hot second for this screen to refocus. So just gonna turn it away real quick, turn it back, and then refocus back in. Okay, so yep, there we go. So just do 1 and then 8, and then we're gonna press OK. Now, time format. Okay, I normally select the 24-hour time form. I mean, not 24. I'm sorry. I normally select the 12-hour time format. So we're just gonna select that. And then we get to the next part, which is the time. Okay, right now it is 3:14 p.m. So we'll do 03. You can either press the keys on the screen, or you can press the keys that are on your actual printer. So we're just gonna do 03 and then 14, and then we'll just press OK on the screen, and it'll set it up for us. Okay, I'm 100% certain I didn't change from AM to PM, but whatever time it is on where you're at, you'll be able to select that. Okay, so now it's telling us to install the ink cartridges that came with this printer, close the scanner unit. Okay, so now we're just going to jump into installing the inks that came with the printer first. Okay, I know in my last video I said install the sublimation ink first. It didn't really matter, but in our case this time we are going to install the Epson cartridges first, because we want to make sure our printer head is working at 100%. Okay, if we have issues with our printer head, that's why I said we install the regular cartridges first, so that way if we do have issues, we can just take it back to wherever we got it from. They'll see we install the regular cartridges first and not try to put sublimation ink in there and all that stuff. So then we're not voiding the warranty at that point. We're still under warranty. We can ship it back and get another one. Okay, so we're about to open up the printer, open up the top of the printer and install our regular Epson cartridges that came with the printer first. All right. Alrighty, so now we're at the point where we have to install our cartridges into our printer. As I said before, guys, I recommend you just install your regular Epson cartridges first, just to see if the printer is working at 100%. Okay, so we want to go ahead and open our ink cartridges and insert them into our printer. Okay, when you open this, please wait for, I say, about 7 seconds, as this printer head will shift all the way this way, and then it'll come back slowly, and it'll stop in the resting area, which will allow you to open this up. Okay, and to open this up, all you do is just get your finger, put it right here underneath this tab, and then lift your finger up in a curling motion like this, and it'll pop right up. Okay, like that, and it'll pop right out. So now we take our cartridges and we insert them. I'm just gonna go ahead and open them all up at one time, so I don't have to fumble with each one as I put them in. And if you're wondering how I'm just tearing these open real easily, there's a little slit right here. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys can't see that. I'm sorry. There's a little slit right here where you can just be able to tear it out. Okay, I'll just pull it back and it'll tear open. Now, once you open these cartridges, there's these little yellow tabs. Okay, take these yellow tabs off. That is it. Do not take anything else off of these cartridges, just the yellow tab. Do not take this plastic off that is on this hole. Do not take the plastic off on this hole, okay? Leave that on, okay? When you put it in there, it's a piece in there that will puncture this for you and that will pull the ink out for you when it prints, okay? If you pull this off, it will flood your printer, okay? And you do not want that to happen. So just go ahead and take this yellow tab off. And when we put it inside, we're gonna make sure we slide it down in the correct grooves for that one, and then press it down all the way until it can't go down anymore. And then you can be able to put your fingers right here and pull it up some, and that's how you know it's nice and snug in there, because it won't budge, it won't come up at all. So we'll just do the same thing for the rest, okay? Take the yellow tab off, put it in. I normally try to go from one side to the other, not try to do black and then jump over to magenta, then cyan, then yellow. I don't try to do all of that. I just go in order for alignment purposes. Okay, so we'll just put it in, press it down, take the tab off again, put it in, and press it down, okay? Make sure the tab that's on the cartridge is facing this end and not the other way, okay? If you flip it and try to put it in the opposite way, you will break something inside your printer, but it's something that you do not want to deal with, okay? So please make sure you're putting your cartridges in the correct way, okay? So now once we're done with that, all we do is fold this down and then close our top, and then it'll go ahead and recognize everything for us, okay? So we close it. It'll make us little sounds, little motions. Making the noises. All right, and then you know you've done it right when you get this to pop up on your screen, okay? It's really just a loading thing. I'm gonna dim the light so you guys can be able to see it. And I'm gonna zoom in for you guys. It's just a loading screen. It's saying that it's initializing and getting, you know, everything ready for you. And this could take a few minutes. It's not gonna take like a crazy amount of time or anything like that. I say a good, probably not even 5 minutes. Okay, it's not gonna take that long at all. Yep, there you go. This will take about 6 minutes. All right. So then once that's done, you'll get the thing to pop up. I think the next part is like the wizard or something like that, like fax wizard or something like that. But we'll go ahead and see what it is as soon as it get done. All right, you guys. So once that bar finishes loading, and that's it. Okay, your initial setup is complete. Okay, so now we just hit the close button. Now it's telling you to select the paper size and type for paper source. All right, so we'll just select OK. Now, paper size, okay? Of course, when you get it, it's gonna be the regular setup, the 8.5 by 11, but you can change that to various sizes that are already preset within the printer, okay? Same thing with the paper type. You can change from plain paper to glossy paper to you know, a lot of other different paper types that they have already set on here, okay? But in our case, for sublimation, we're gonna stay with the plain paper option, okay? And for the paper size, we're gonna go ahead and stick with, actually for this one, I'm gonna show you guys something. We're gonna change this first one to Super B. Okay, so just keep scrolling down and you'll see it, Super B A3 Plus. So we select that, okay? Now, what I like to do is I like to go to favorite paper settings, okay? We'll go to favorite paper settings. We've already got the, did we set up the first one? No, we didn't. Okay, so in this case, that's what we're gonna do. For the favorite paper, for the favorite setting 1, we're gonna do Super B on plain paper, and then for the favorite setting 2, we're gonna leave that at letter paper. Okay, and I'll show you guys why in a minute. All right, so right now we'll just select the favorite setting 1. Use this setting to change the settings. Touch edit. We're gonna touch edit to change that. Paper size. Scroll down to Super B again. Super B A3 plus. Select that. Paper type, we can just leave it at plain paper. Press the back button. And then that's it. It changed it for us. Okay. Now just select the back button again, and we can, continue the process. Or you can change the other things. Okay. So if there's an option where you have mug paper, and your mug paper is a specific size, and you go in here and look for that specific size and you find it, I would highly advise you to change it now, so that in that way you can come back in here later on when you ever need to change your paper. You can just select your favorite setting number that the paper is set to. Okay, so now we just press the back button again. Favorite paper settings, select the first one, and then touch use. Hit use and press OK. All right, now it'll ask you for the fax wizard. I do not use mine for fax. If you do use yours for fax, then you can research how to set that up dealing with fax. But in this case, since we're just using our printer for sublimation, we're just going to hit close. Fax is not set up yet. Remind you later. We're just going to select no. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and put some paper in here. Okay, but in our case, I'm going to go ahead and change it back to regular letter paper, because we're doing a printer head cleaning, and well, not a cleaning, but we're doing a printer head check, printer head nozzle check, just to make sure everything is printing correctly. Okay, so now that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and install our regular letter paper. All right, guys, so now we're going to go ahead and install our regular letter paper into the printer. Okay, this is regular plain letter paper. It's not sublimation paper, and the reason we're doing this is because we don't want to waste sublimation paper on what we're about to do. Okay, so what we want to do is, when we go ahead and pull our tray out like so, we can take this piece and go ahead and take this piece off, sit it up here up top, and now we want to slide these down to make sure these match up with what we're using. Okay, when you get your printer, you're going to see numbers and letters and different things right here. That pretty much just saying, hey, move this slider over to line up with this for that particular paper size. Okay, so since we're doing letter paper, which is legal paper, is going to be capital LTR/legal. Okay, so this blue tab, we just press this blue tab down, slide it over till it get to the right one, which is right here, LTR/legal, and has a line to it going up to right here. We make sure this arrow on here, right here in this corner, is pointing down at it. All right, and the same thing with this one. Okay, so we just pull this blue tab down, slide it down, and on this one you'll just see capital LTR. Okay, you won't see /legal after it. All right, you'll just see LTR. So that's the that would be LTR would be the I guess that would be the height, and the legal would be the width. That's the only explanation I can come up with as far as on that one. Now we have our paper, our legal paper. All we do is just sit it down in there, and it'll fit nice and snug. Okay, you want to make sure that this is nice and snug in there. Okay, because if it's not, when you go to press print, it'll definitely pull it through, but when it come out, it may come out crooked. Your stuff may not be lined up correctly or things like that on your paper. So you definitely want to make sure you slide these holders to the right slots So then that way when you put your paper in here, it's gonna be nice and snug to avoid that from happening. So now we just take our cover again, slide it back down in there, and then that's it, okay? So go ahead and push it back in. And then it'll ask you on the screen, it'll say paper cassette. And now I'm gonna show you guys why we set up our favorite settings earlier. Okay, so we just put our cassette back into our printer, and now this screen popped up, okay? So like I said earlier, guys, we wanted to make sure we set up our favorite paper settings for this, okay? We're just gonna hit favorite paper settings at the bottom. And then this will pop up, and then we just go to favorite setting 2. We'll just press that, and we'll press use. And then press close. And then now that's it, okay? So it makes that a whole lot faster. So now we just want to slide this all the way over to go to settings. We go to maintenance. We go to what is it? Print head nozzle check. We'll click that. And then it'll tell you to load letter/A4 plain paper. Okay. So that's why I went ahead and just switched it over anyways, just to let it know, you know, hey, we're gonna be using that anyways. So it really shouldn't even ask this, but they do that just as a precaution to let you know, hey, if you're ever on Super Bee and you decide to do this, then this will still pop up just to let you know. You know, so that's why I highly recommend you get the 7720, so you don't have to keep changing out your sublimation paper with your letter size paper. You can have one cassette for letter paper for when you need to do nozzle checks. Then you can have the cassette right under it for your sublimation paper for when you're doing sublimation. So now just click start, and it'll print out a sheet for us. And I'll show you guys what that sheet will look like. All right, so it just printed out this, okay? And this is exactly what we are looking for, okay? We're looking for all solid lines and making sure the color is showing up on all the lines and making sure there's no gaps at all, okay? So now we know we have a working printer head with our brand new printer, which, you know, is expected, of course. And now we just want to go ahead and switch it over to sublimation ink, okay? And also, we got to see what the screen says. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you that right now, guys. So this is what the screen will say, okay? So the paper we just looked at, it has this side where the O is at, okay? It don't have this side where the X is at. You will be able to see there are gaps within your lines on your paper, okay? And if there's gaps within your lines on your paper, then you would just press X and you would go through the printer head cleaning set. Well, go to the printer head cleaning steps, okay? But in our case, we don't need to do a printer head cleaning on these cartridges because they're printing correctly, okay? So we just go ahead and press the O, and then that's it. It'll take you back to this screen. Now, at this point, you can just press the home button on the side, and then it'll take you all the way back to the beginning instead of pressing this back button up here in the corner multiple times. We'll just press the home button, and then that's it. It'll take us back to the home page. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and remove the cartridges that are in here, okay? We'll just slide it all the way to the end, to settings. We press settings. Now we go down to maintenance at the bottom, press maintenance. And then we go down to the bottom where it says ink cartridges replacement. Okay, so we'll press that. And then it'll ask you replace the ink cartridges, and you press start. And then it'll tell you to lift the scanner and replace the cartridges. When finished, close the scanner unit. Now, when you open the scanner, like I said earlier, whenever you open this unit, the printer head is gonna move for a few seconds, okay? So while it's moving, don't touch anything. Just wait till it comes to its resting place, and then you can be able to remove them. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and set you guys up so you guys can see what I mean. Alrighty, now we're gonna go ahead and open up the top of our printer and replace those cartridges. When we open it up, it's gonna move to one side and then come back. And then now it stopped. So now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and open it up, take out our cartridges, and replace them with our sublimation ink cartridges. Okay. So like I said before, just put your fingers in here and then just curl your finger up against this tab, and then it'll just pop it right up. And so we'll lift it up. Now that it's open, we want to go ahead and take these cartridges out. Okay. And to take these cartridges out, we repeat that same motion that we did on this tab to open it up against these tabs right here along the cartridges. So just put your finger in there, lift up, and it'll pop right up, and then you can slide it out. We'll just slide it out and sit these to the side. And then I like to put these in a bag because I will be mailing these off to the person that I'm doing this sublimation printer for. All right, now we just.
Okay, for this bracket, we need to remove the sticker, which is on the back of the bracket. We're gonna stick the bracket in the center. The center of the printer here, because we want to attach the tube here, but there's not much space for the tubing, so we use this one to give the tubing more space. You also need a small screwdriver to remove the cartridge lid, the cover. We don't need the cover. This one is easy to remove. Okay, remove the cover. We also need a twist tie like this. You can tie the tubing. This I'm going to do here. Okay, install the cartridge. Press the cartridge all the way down, and make sure the tab is locked with the cartridge holder. And we tie the tube here. Here's a little hole. So the tube is not moving after we install the cartridge. And now we use the tape. Attach the tape. Okay. So we want the tubing is just long enough to go into the left side and go into the right side. So the tube is about this long. You will see the angle here. Let's attach. also attach another piece over here. And now we need to, don't forget to open the air vents. Before you open it, before you open the air vent, I want you to do this first. To flip over the ink to the front chamber. So leave the air on the back chamber. There are two chambers for each color. So in this way, we can move the ink to the front chamber instead of the back chamber, because the back chamber is for the air vents. So when we open it, the ink will not come out. Otherwise, a lot of people they open the back chamber, the air vents, and the ink is just splitting out. So this is unplug the air vents, all four colors. Leave them open. You can close the cover like this. We also provide a rubber plug like this. This is for before we close the scanner unit, we want to test it, make sure there's nothing wrong with this setup. So you put the rubber plug to here. There's a switch jumper.
We're gonna look back on the screen because there's gonna be a message that comes up on the screen. Okay. Alrighty, so now that the printer has just finished its printer head cleaning, what we want to do now is we want to print a nozzle check just to make sure, you know, all the lines are there, just as we did earlier with our regular Epson cartridges, to make sure everything was printing correctly. Okay, so now it asks us print head cleaning complete, printing a nozzle check is recommended, print the pattern. We just click yes, and then it'll print out the sheet for us. Hit yes, then it'll print out the sheet for us. And of course it'll say load the paper or whatever, but we already have that letter size paper loaded within the printer. Then it'll print the paper out for us. So now it went ahead and printed it out. Of course, on the first go around, it is always gonna print pretty much perfect, and we're not looking for the perfection on the first go around. Okay, that 9 times out of 10, that will never happen when dealing with sublimation ink. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna press X on the screen, and then we're gonna do another printer head cleaning, and I can show you guys what I mean. Okay, right now this ink that's on this paper, this is still the regular ink from the printer head. Okay, that's why we want to run a few cleanings to go ahead and flush that out and get the sublimation ink in there, and you'll be able to tell the clear difference from the sublimation ink being on paper versus the regular ink being on paper. So now what we're gonna do to track how many printer head cleanings you have to do for get it coming through, I'm gonna write a number on this sheet, and I'm gonna write a number on the remaining sheets that we have to do, all the way until we get to that final final outcome that we're looking for with the sublimation ink being on the paper. Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and take you guys back to the screen, and I'm gonna run another one. Like I said, guys, we're just gonna press the X button. It'll ask us, we're gonna do all colors again. cleans the printer head, touch start, click start, or go ahead and clean it again. Alright guys, so we just went ahead and installed our sublimation cartridges, and then when we close our printer top, this is what pops up next. Okay, the exclamation marks are a good thing. Okay, in our case they are a very good thing. That means our printer does recognize these cartridges. However, it do say you have not installed genuine Epson ink cartridges, okay, which is 100% true. Okay, the cartridges that are in my conversion kits, they are not genuine Epson cartridges. However, the chip on the cartridges are auto reset chips. Okay, so with these auto reset chips, whenever you install these in there, that's gonna pop up, and then whenever you need to refill your cartridges, you're gonna want to take all your cartridges out, refill the ones that are empty, and then put them all back in at the same time, and then start it back up. Okay, and this will pop up again then, but in our case, like I said, the exclamation marks are good. Now if you have an X, now that's a bad thing. Okay, when you have the X, that means the printer is not recognizing your cartridges. Okay, so remember, exclamations are good, the X's are bad. If you do see an X, just take that cartridge out, and of course, you have to take all your other cartridges out as well, because you have to put them all back in at the same time. Just take them all out and then just put them back in. Normally, like on your third or fourth time putting them back in, sometimes less than that, it'll go ahead and recognize the cartridge and it'll take it in. Okay, if it don't, I highly recommend just contacting me, saying, hey, having problems with it recognizing, or whoever you got the cartridges from, contact them back and see what they can do for you as far as giving you a replacement for that cartridge that you're having issues with. Okay, so now at this point, all we do is come up to the top and press OK, and then this will come up. Okay, this pretty much states that, hey, the quality and reliability of non-genuine ink cannot be guaranteed, and it may cause damage to your product not covered by the Epson warranty, as I said earlier. Okay, these printers are not built for sublimation. However, you can convert them to sublimation. Okay, so when you convert them to sublimation, you're pretty much adding an aftermarket product to a printer. You're not adding OEM or original equipment manufacturing products to the printer, okay, which does void the warranty. However, if you decide to take it back to wherever you got it from, like I said, that is completely on you. Okay, so now you just hit proceed, and it'll ask you, do you want to continue using this ink? You select yes, and then it says replacement is complete, and okay. So now this is a very, very important and crucial step. Okay, like I said earlier, guys, remember, you take those vent plugs out. Okay, so now that we have those vent plugs that were taken out earlier, we want to do a print head cleaning. Okay, print head cleaning, and we're going to do all colors. The reason why we're doing this print head cleaning is because even though we put our sublimation ink cartridges in there, inside the printer head, it's still primed with the regular ink that came with the Epson printer. So now what we want to do is we want to flush out that original Epson ink and go ahead and prime the printer head with our sublimation ink. All right, and the best way to do that is to do a printer head cleaning on all the colors, so it pulls the color from all 4 of our cartridges down into the printer head and flushes out the old stuff. Okay, we just hit all colors. I should make sure I hit all colors. Yep, all colors, and then cleans the printer head. Touch start. We're gonna hit start, and then it'll take us through the motions. Okay, of course this is gonna take a few minutes, so at this point I'm pretty much just gonna pause the video, and then when it comes back up on the next part, I'm gonna go ahead and hit recording, so it'll just pick right back up. Okay, you don't even have to press next video or anything. It'll be a continuation within this video. All right guys, so this is the second go around of the printer head cleaning. So now it's asking us to do the same thing, just print the pattern. So we'll go ahead and click yes, click start, and it'll print the pattern out. Here we go. This is the truth, okay? The horrible, well, not horrible, but the good truth, okay? So now, when you first put your sub ink cartridges in there, of course, when we did that printer head check earlier, and I'm gonna show you guys. When we did that nozzle cleaning earlier, everything printed out good, okay? But this is the regular ink, okay? Even though we have our sub ink in there, all we did was just flush out the regular ink that was inside the printer head onto the paper, well, through the system, and then what was left was still in there. So now this is our second go around, and now we're really truly starting to push out that regular ink that was in there, okay? And now we have this, okay? Black is definitely missing. 9 times out of 10, you guys, black is normally gonna be missing first. You may have other colors missing, but a lot of the times it's gonna be your black, okay? So in this case, we're gonna do another printer head cleaning, so that way we can go ahead and, you know, just keep on flushing it out, okay? So we'll go back to the screen. And those spots that were missing, that's where the X is at, okay? So how you have the X and those missing dots, that's pretty much what that representation is that was on the paper, okay? It's saying, hey, you're having those missing lines or whatever. You know, you're definitely gonna need to do another printer head cleaning to make sure those lines show up properly, all right? So in our case, we're gonna hit X, and we're gonna do all colors again to be on the safe side, and press start, okay? Normally, I like to run all colors at least like 4 times just to go ahead and, you know, make sure those other colors are out of the those other regular Epson inks are out of the printer head, like fully out, and you know it's definitely going to be primed with sublimation ink. And then after that, if I'm still having problems with my black not showing up, then I'll switch to do a printer head cleaning, but of black only, okay? So right now, I'm gonna just go ahead and stop the recording, and then we'll come back on the 3rd time we print out the sheet and see how things turned out. All right, guys, we are back, and this is our 3rd time doing the printer head cleaning. So now, as always, we're just gonna hit yes to go ahead and print the pattern and see what turned out. So now when we look at it, it's a little more spaces, well, a little less spaces, I mean. More lines are showing on the black versus what showed up on our second one on our number 2. So the black is definitely more visible than number 2, so we're definitely getting somewhere. So now we just go back and hit X again. Wait for it to clear up. All right, so yeah, we'll just go ahead and hit X. We're gonna do all colors just one more time, okay? After this time we do all colors, on the next go around, we don't even have to do that no more. We can just select black only, we'll be good. All right, guys, so we just finished our 4th printer head cleaning, and now we're gonna do the same thing as we did before. We're just gonna click yes to print the pattern. Click start. And there it is. It's doing slightly better each time we go. This one kind of still look a little bit like number 3. You guys can't really see it, but I'm starting to notice the words that go across up top here, and also a little bit of the first line of words that end up coming down here. And like I said, the color side is good. The yellow, magenta, and the cyan, those are all good on this side. Okay. On the next go around, the only thing we're doing is we're gonna clean the black only. Okay. So now that's exactly what we're gonna select on the screen. Okay. So we're just gonna press the X button. And now we're gonna go to the bottom where it says black only. Okay. If it were other colors that were missing, but the black was good, then we would do all except black. Okay. They don't have a separate option for just yellow or just magenta or just cyan. Okay. And if you're missing black and you're missing either yellow, cyan, or magenta, then you're gonna have to do all colors. Okay. So in this case, we're gonna do black only. Press start. And then, as always, we'll just wait till the next go around and see how it turns out. Alright guys, so this is our 5th printer head cleaning. And of course, when you're just doing black only, since it's only cleaning that one cartridge, it's gonna be relatively faster to clean that one cartridge than if it has to go through all 4 cartridges and clean all 4 out. Okay. So now, of course, all we're gonna do is just press yes to print the pattern. Press start. See what's going on. And this is 4 compared to this one, which is 5. You guys probably can see it barely, but there's a little bit of wording and stuff that's starting to show through right here on this line. Okay. I'd say maybe about number 7. I say around number 7, it should be all cleared up. Okay, no issues at all whatsoever. Possibly number 6 is if you know we're really lucky, but I definitely think number 7 is gonna be it. Okay, so now we're just gonna go back to the screen, and as always, press the X button. Get you guys situated. All right, yep, we're good. Press the X button, black only, and press start. We're gonna see how that looks. All right, so we just finished our 6th printer head cleaning. So now we're just gonna press yes to print out the pattern and see how it turns out. I'm really guessing number 7, but we'll see. This may, yep, still doing pretty much the same thing. So now this is number 6, so it may be 7, it may be 8. Who knows? But it definitely shouldn't take that much longer. Okay. So now just go back to the screen, press X, do black only, and we'll be good to go. And once again, guys, whenever you guys do these this initial printer head cleaning to go ahead and get that ink into your printer, it definitely, of course, as you can see, it will take time. But on another note, you won't ever have to do this again. Okay, so when you get so if you ever need to refill your cartridges, you can be able to refill your cartridges and put them back in your printer without having to go through this, you know, printer head cleaning or anything like that. Okay, I only recommend doing this if you're fully like replacing a cartridge with another cartridge. Then yeah, I recommend doing it just to, you know, if there's any air that's inside the cartridge, or especially if you have air near the ventilation plug or anything like that, it needs to build up some type of pressure inside of it. So then you may get, you know, like it may not be coming through all the way as you would right now, but once we build up that pressure inside the cartridge by doing these printer head cleanings, then it'll all start to flow through seamlessly, and you won't have any more problems, you know, dealing with this. Okay. The only other time you would truly run a printer head cleaning is if, let's say, you don't print anything for like 4 days, 5 days, anything, in my opinion, longer than 3 days. I would definitely just run one printer head cleaning just to be on the safe side. Okay, so that way your ink won't dry up inside your printer. And as always, leave your printer on. Okay, do not turn your printer off, just leave it on. Okay, when it's on, you don't have to worry about the print head dropping down and then it ended up clogging up whatever because it ended up drying out. So just leave your printer on. Okay, so this is going to be number 7 that we're doing now, and then when this is done, we're gonna print it out and see how it turns out. Alrighty, so we are back and we just went ahead and finished up printer head cleaning number 7. Okay, so now all we do is click yes, press start, it'll print it out for us. Oh man, I have I have a really good guess, y'all. I had a really good one. All right, so this is it, number 7. Okay, so if we compare this to number 6, this is how everything turned out. Okay, and yes, it's just seemed like it just completely jumped like tremendously from 6 to 7 as far as clearing up that black. Okay, kind of like how it just jumped tremendously from the very first printer head cleaning we did down to number 3. Well, no, down to number 2 when we did that second one, when all that black just disappeared. Okay, so on this one, as you guys can see, the difference is crazy. Okay, so now I'm just gonna lay out all these pages on the table so you guys can see the whole transition of how it went through cleaning out all the ink out and then replacing all of that old ink with our sublimation ink, while also at the same time building up the pressure that needed to be built up on the ventilation side of those cartridges inside the printer. Okay, so I'm gonna just walk you guys over here to this side, this area. I'm gonna go ahead and slide the printer over. And when it's done on the screen, guys, all you gotta do is just press the O button. So we just press O, and then that's it. Okay, and press the home button, and it'll take us back to that home page. Okay, so now we can come over here, and we're gonna take a glance at our pages. Okay. Now this one we just did was number 7. So we did 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. So now, when we look at it, as you guys can see, I'm trying to get you guys as close as possible, okay? As you guys can see, this was number 1, okay? Number 1, like I said earlier, it had the regular ink in it. Even though we installed our sublimation ink, there was still regular ink inside the printer head. Okay, so now when we did our first printer head cleaning, of course it still had the regular ink inside the printer head, and that's what came out. And then we did our second printer head cleaning, and then that's where we ran into the problem. Well, not problem really, but the transition. Okay, it pulled out the rest of that regular ink that was in the printer head and started pushing in that sublimation ink, but it needed a greater amount of pressure within the cartridge. And so to build up that amount of pressure in the cartridge that we needed, we just kept on running printer head cleanings. Okay, and then this is the next one where the black showed up a little bit more as compared to the second one. And then we ran a fourth printer head cleaning, as you guys can see up there at the top. Okay, the lines were definitely showing a lot more. Well, not a whole lot more, but it was definitely a noticeable amount. And then we came down to number 5. By the time we got to number 5, we didn't have to do all colors anymore. All we had to do was just the black only. Okay, and then we got down to number 6, and then it still seemed like nothing changed. But as soon as we hit number 7, all the black showed up. Okay, and when all that happens, that means you are good to go.